Welcome to the Robotics Through Science Fiction podcast. Not every robot story or movie has a teachable moment. Remember Freud's supposed quip, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar? Well, sometimes a robot book is just a book. I'm Robin Murphy, and in this podcast I'll go through 7 flash reviews of books, movies, or stories that either have a weak or non-existent science narrative or have a plot where the robot is incidental but interesting. For example, you may want to skip Robogenesis, the sequel to the highly accurate Robopocalypse, because the science falls apart. But you may want to read the madcap Starship Grifters, which has the scientific accuracy of a Marx Brothers movie, to get a humor fix while waiting for another installment of the MurderBot Diaries. Let's start with Cinder by Melissa Meyer. What if Cinderella were a cyborg and loses her foot, not her shoe, at the ball? Melissa Meyer's best-selling young adult novel offers an inventive, futuristic retelling of the classic fairy tale. Every time you think you know how the story will play out, Meyer puts in a Brandon Sanderson-worthy zig or zag. Unfortunately, Cinder isn't up to Sanderson's world building or dialogue. The first book in the series is worth a quick read for the clever, fractured fairy tale reboot. Yeah, a pun. But there's nothing insightful about robotics or cyborgs or even the human condition. Next on the list is Robogenesis. Daniel H. Wilson's Robopocalypse is a fantastic must-read. Robogenesis, not so much. We just thought we won the robot uprising in Robopocalypse, but it turns out there was a bigger bad lurking out there. That's annoying, but not unexpected in sequels. Unfortunately, the unbelievable robot zombies is one of the many attributes that make the book come across like it's a cash run. Preserve your fond memories of Robopocalypse's storyline and scientific authenticity. Skip Robogenesis. Starship Grifters by Robert Cross. This is the first in the series about the charismatic, not too bright space con man, Rex Neilio, and is the star of a sort of Red Dwarf, Doctor Who, Hitchhiker's Guide, humorous romp. And the real star is the narrator, the robot Sasha. Working for Rex puts her in interesting situations given that she can't lie. Plus, instead of doing a Victorian swoon, Sasha shuts down for 15 seconds when she's about to have an original thought. Just when the determined zaniness gets a little tiresome, the author throws in a rolling on the floor laughing plot twist or bon mot. A real fun, fast read. Avengers, Age of Ultron. I mean, really, is there anything accurate about robots in Avengers, Age of Ultron? Not that I could find, but then again, it would be hard to notice in a fast-moving, large action movie with an ensemble cast of memorable superheroes, but the whole Jarvis Vision subplot enters the realm of Mike Riesnick's 2008 short story, Articles of Faith, where a robot can be a better, purer, and more spiritual version of man. Avengers Age of Ultron is entertainment, but like Riesnick's 7 Views of Olduvai Gorge, Articles of Faith will stay with you long after you finish the last line. Ready Player One, the movie. The movie version of Ernest Cline's exuberant and sentimental bestseller is perhaps best treated as an inspired by fan fiction rewrite rather than an adaptation for the screen. While Spielberg's team throws away plot and nuance, they do front-load it with excellent special effects and visuals. Plus, it's hard not to have a smallish warm spot for a movie where the Iron Giant goes mano on mano with Mechagodzilla. If you haven't seen the movie, wait until it goes into rotation on your streaming or cable site. It's worth seeing, but not worth paying extra for. The Andromeda Strain. This 1971 must-see movie is faithful to the 1969 Michael Crichton bestseller, which established the whole techno-thriller genre, and it holds up extremely well, both in terms of technology and the fast-paced plot. A team of scientists try to isolate an alien biological that may have become an epidemic. They're brought to the wildfire facility in Nevada, a stand-in for the real Dugway Proving Grounds in Utah, which is stacked with technology originally developed for handling nuclear materials during the Manhattan Project. There are glove boxes, plus robot pick-and-place robots and force-reflecting robot manipulators, dubbed Waldos by Robert Heinlein and now the common designation of the industry. The Waldos were a human interface hack with awful ergonomics and counterintuitive control. And of course, the Department of Energy still uses them to this day. Stargate. The 1993 movie that started the franchise is well worth watching, and it has a real robot. When James Spader, playing a nice, sincere guy for once, helps the government use the Stargate to open a wormhole, the first one through the wormhole is a robot, and not just a special effects hack, it's a NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories Hasbot 3. It was brought out of mothballs for the movie. Hasbot sends back telemetry to indicate the planet Abydos is Earth-like, and thus Kurt Russell and his special operations team can safely make the next trip. Of course, the robot's never used again, either to help map out the alien planet or carry gear or to overcome Ra, the most beautifully androgynous alien since David Bowie and the Man Who Fell to Earth, but the robot was there first. I hope these reviews are helpful, and Joe Williams, our wonderful site runner, has asked me to remind you that if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Robotics Through Science Fiction YouTube channel and newsletter so that you don't miss a thing.